Hi, everyone. It's wonderful to have you all here. I'm going to put our icebreaker questions. Oh, I'm going to put our icebreaker questions in the chat. Very simple. Who are you? Where are you? What team are you on? We're going to be business focused today. I know you all are looking forward to this training, and I want to make sure that we have an opportunity to, get y'all the information that you need. We will have plenty of time for questions, but we're going to go through a lot of great stuff. So again, in the chat, go ahead and put who are you, where are you, what team are you on? Hopefully we got a lot. It's mostly field captains and regional directors today. I know it's kind of short notice, but this is going to be great because we're recording it. Yes, good to have you all here. Still got more folks coming in. Again, if you weren't here, we're doing icebreakers or just intros in the chat, super short. Who are you? Where are you? What team are you on? I think it's really great to have to have a good handful of field captains from across the state. Again, I know it was short notice. Glad to have you here. Oh, who unmuted? We are going to keep this. There we go. Yes. Okay. Well, I think I want to get started a little bit here. So first off, I'm going to throw in the chat check-in equals field. Let's have everybody check in today. Super simple. The link I just put in the Zoom chat, respectvoters.org/check-in. This just helps us to know that folks are active. Obviously, you're all field leads, so I hope you all are active in the movement, but I know you're focused on your local stuff, so it's good for us to know that you are doing the thing. So definitely please check in. Okay, so you all have a lot of questions. I know that. I'm going to go through a lot of stuff to answer those questions. So I'm going to ask that we save questions till the end. Please write them down. Please record them. Make sure you don't miss them or forget them. And I will probably answer it as we go. And then we'll come around to the end and we'll just do open question time till everybody gets off. So I'm Hayden Sasswood. I also go by Sass is my name. And I'm the digital organizer for Respect Missouri Voters. And I have been serving as the liaison between our software development team that is building the signature tracking app and the rest of the campaign. I also help run the verification center where all of our signatures are coming in to be verified. And so I have a pretty deep understanding of this software, where it's at, where it's going, and how to use it, and its intentions. So the agenda is literally going to be the field leads guide to the signature tracking app, which is something you all should have received several times. So I'm going to put that in the chat. So we're going to go through that, not every word. I'm going to skip some stuff, but that's just going to be our guide for tonight. If you want to follow along, I will be sharing my screen. because I'll also be hopping into the app back and forth and showing things off. So yes, let's get going. So I'm just gonna start sharing my screen right now. Beautiful, and you know what? I can make this even better for y'all. I'm gonna do that. Great. Okay, so signature tracking app is a web. Also, I'm going to refer to it as STA going forward. If you have a better name for it, please put it in the chat because I don't like this name. I think it's too many syllables, which is why I abbreviated it, and I hate abbreviations. The STA is a web app that runs in a standard internet browser. Its purpose is to help the Respect Missouri Voters campaign manage, track, and validate all signatures gathered. What we need to accomplish, you all know that. We're going to skip that section. How will this app help us get there? STA provides us a way to efficiently enter numbers of signatures collected by gatherer, or STA provides us a way to efficiently enter numbers of signatures collected by gatherer and by county. That will make that clearer. By gatherer and by county, track the movement of signatures, and validate signatures according to the Secretary of State's qualifications. You can even say requirements. Where did this app come from? The tech support department convened a software development team to create STA from scratch. There are no comparable solutions that can be bought without spending millions of dollars for each campaign on a third-party service that uses its own proprietary software. By creating our own solution, we can execute what's needed better, use the same software again for future campaigns, and share it for free with other pro-democracy allies around Missouri and across the country. STA is still in development. Please report issues, suggestions, and questions to me, SAS. That's my personal cell number. Happy for you all to have it. So, STA, how do you get on there? Well, to log in and use STA, your account must have an active lead role, such as field captain or regional director. So we're going to go through these prerequisites. This is for leaders, not your gatherers. Prerequisites. First and foremost, read and sign the Respect Missouri Voters Excellence Pledge. If you haven't already, I believe all of you have, but there might be a few of you who haven't. So please read and sign the Respect Missouri Voters Excellence Pledge. That is really important for protecting information of our volunteers. The second prerequisite, confirm with your regional director or the field chair, Alex Johnson, that you are, in fact, to be in leadership for the role of in a leadership role for the field operations of the campaign, which I believe all of you are. We actually do manage to upkeep that field roster pretty well, so I think we're in good shape there. Number 3, confirm your region and team number. You all seem to be pretty good there. If you are a regional director, use team number 87. This was previously 98. We had to change this because St. Louis was getting so many people into 98 that it was getting ready to break the software. So we've switched to 87. If you're in St. Louis, don't use 98, please, ever, for anybody ever. You ideally should always be putting people into the correct field team the first time. But if something happens, for whatever reason you can't, and somebody's trying to register, 87 is the way to go. In the other regions, I'm not as concerned about Team 98 right now. Fourth prerequisite, make sure you have an email address that consistently works with Google's standard login process for accessing Google Drive, Google Docs, etc. An email address ending with @gmail.com will work. Most employers and organizations that regularly use Google services register their domain with Google Workspace, meaning that email addresses ending with their website domain are valid for this purpose. For example, emails ending with @respectvoters.org work fully with Google services. If you don't have a Google-friendly email address, such as something ending in hotmail.com, let me just read what's there. Other domains from non-Google email providers like @hotmail.com often have issues with Google login. Only use an email with an alternate domain at the end if you've consistently been able to log in and use Google services with it. Otherwise, create a new Gmail account with Google. You can give Google fake information if you want to, if you'd like. This is strictly about simplicity, security, and compatibility with STA. If you still don't feel comfortable making your own Gmail account, you can request an email account ending with @respectvoters.org by submitting a tech support request. And that's just respectvoters.org/tech request or /help. So /help, boom, there in the chat. Okay, registration, the bane of us all, and I will talk a little bit about the reality that it's been. So you should have all, hopefully by now, registered as either a regional director or a field captain using the leader registration form with your chosen Google-friendly email address. Case sensitive, so don't leave a capital letter at the beginning. I'm sorry that it's case sensitive, it happens to be. If you intend to notarize petition sheets, be sure to also register as a notary on that same form. So that's respectvoters.org/leader. Make sure you register with the correct team. So respectvoters.org/leader. And then complete the field quiz that comes after, only if you haven't already. I run into this so often. Somebody's like, I've taken the field quiz 15 times because something about my registration. The field quiz is completely disconnected from the registration. I will probably say this multiple times. There's no need for anyone to pass the field quiz multiple times. So what happens is you register and then it just forwards you to the field quiz. Those are separate things. It's just a redirect. They're not connected. The field quiz doesn't talk to STA at all. There is very intentionally an air gap between the two systems because you as a human are supposed to check to make sure that yes, indeed, this person who wants me to activate the registration in our app is real. They're collecting signatures. They've gotten 100% on the field quiz, and so then you go in and activate them. So let's talk about that. Role activation. After you register, inform your regional director or field chair so they can activate your leadership role in STA, allowing you to log into STA using the Google-friendly email address you registered with. Now we're going to get juicy. We're going to start switching tabs. So currently, STA is not very mobile friendly. It is on the list to improve that. It works, but it's best to use a desktop or laptop or tablet for now. Mobile usability will improve in the future. So the website is field.respectmovoters.org. That's it. Field.respectmovoters.org. I'm putting that in the chat for you. That's the link to Signature Tracking app. So you go there and you hit the login button. Use the Google compatible account you registered with to log in. So I'm going to go there. This is field.respectmovoters.org. I'm going to click login. I'm going to select the account that I want to use. And boom, it's logged me in. Now, you can run into the same problem two different ways here. And it's the same problem for both is that you just get stuck on the loading and the circle keeps going. I know a lot of you have experienced that. There are two possible reasons for that. One of them is you do not have an active role as a field lead in STA. So that means either you didn't register as a field captain or regional director yet, or your regional director or Alex, our field captain, did not activate your leadership role. So that needs to happen first. So that's the first thing to check is check in with your lead, whoever is above you, your regional director, and ask them, hey, can you check and make sure that my field captain status is active? So that's the first thing. The second way it happens is just like you've been on for a while, it logs you out, or you had trouble and and you're trying to get back in and it goes to a different screen, a weird screen that says like use your social, whatever, and then it's stuck. When in doubt and it's just stuck, just go back to field.respectmovoters.org again. Just go back to the URL. You don't want any extra stuff on the after it. You don't want like a slash callback, sign in, whatever. Just go back to field.respectmovoters.org and it will either take you to your dashboard or it will take you back to the login page where you can try again. So that is the most consistent fix to that problem. So it's important for you to identify which one you're running into, which you cannot tell just based on that loading circle for now. Hopefully we will have a better fix in the future. Okay, so let me catch my script up to where I am. Okay, just some navigation basics. So you may have noticed that some things have changed from the last time you logged in. Today we launched a little bit of a makeover. I've been very excited about it. I've been pushing really hard to get it done, and I'm so glad we did. And it's going to prove to be, it improved in a lot of ways. It got a little bit worse on a couple spots. So it's, like I said, it's still in development, but I think it's going to be much easier to use. So the upper right corner, there's a tab for each of the major topics. You can always click or tap one of those tabs to get to the beginning of that topic. In particular, the regions and teams tab, this used to be called field groups, has multiple layers. You can go to a deeper layer by simply clicking or tapping one of the yellow boxes that you see. So I could tap into Mid-Missouri, for example. I could tap into MM02. And I'm not going to scroll down because there's sensitive and personal information, and I want to do minimal censoring of this video. And you could tap, yeah, you could go into a person as well. Color is used imperfectly, so there's a couple spots where it's not what it needs to be, to inform you of what something will do when you click it. So if it's yellow, it will take you to another page, right? If it's light blue, then it will perform a non-destructive action. It will actually do something. If it's red, it will perform a destructive action, right? Well, log out's not destructive, but everything else, the remove button, right, removes that. There's also deletes. Well, we're going to show you deletes too. And then if it's dark blue, like this, that means it won't do anything. So there's now reasonably consistent color language throughout. That's going to help you. Okay, so next up is how do you manage your volunteers? So similar to how you registered for leadership role, various roles, you completed the field quiz, and then you had your roles activated by your leader. The same happens with your volunteers, a layer down, a step down. So what are the roles? Gatherer, they collect signatures on petitions. Notaries, they notarize petitions. Drivers, they drive petitions and supplies to the places they need to go. And verifiers work in the central verification center. Field volunteers can sign up for as many of these roles as they'd like using the standard registration form, which is just respectvoters.org/register. I'll put that in the chat. Be sure to give the volunteers on your team their region and team number so they can complete their registration properly. Field IDs never change, so take your time to get this right for all volunteers. So if they register for the wrong region the first time, too bad. That's just going to be their field ID. It doesn't mean anything about what they can do and where. We're going to get to that in a second. But everybody has been more emotionally attached to their field IDs than I was expecting them to be, which, okay, fine, I understand. And so just recognize that human element and take your time, get it right. And I would like to show off a brand new tool we just got launched today, respectvoters.org/training. Oops, let's try that again. respectmovoters.org/training. Train to gather signatures. And now there is a tool to find your default field team. If you are unable to find out your team number from your captain, please enter your county and zip code below to get your team number. So you can put in Callaway, hit submit, MM04. Look at that. So thank Maya Dunlap for doing this. If you come across Maya Dunlap, thank her. So this is respectmovoters.org/training. So I will put that in the chat for you. And those are default teams. If somebody wants to be on a different team, that's okay. That's totally fine. So let's get to this next part. Ooh, because I believe I say it here. Where do I say it? Okay, maybe I don't. So special rules, I just want to go over these. Notaries will need to know the name of the name on their certification, like their stamp, and what county they're certified in order to finish registration. Please also ask them to obtain their commission number and the expiration date of their certification so they can enter that as well during registration. This is like, will be relevant in the future, and we just want to be ahead of the game, not behind. Drivers should coordinate directly with the logistics team. For now, that's done through emails to dispatch@respectvoters.org. Feel free to give out that email to whoever needs it, dispatch@respectvoters.org, going in the chat. Verifiers are a small group of volunteers in the St. Louis area organized by a different part of the campaign, me. The verifier role should only be activated by an authorized verification center captain. So you guys don't have to worry about that very much. Just know that it's there. And please do not activate a verifier role if somebody checks that box. Keep it, if they're on your team, you don't know about it, leave it deactivated. Let us activate it. Okay, field quiz. As you all know, all gatherers must get 100%, 18 out of 18 on the field quiz before they're allowed to gather signatures. All volunteers on your team who have completed the field quiz with 100% will appear in the tab labeled with your region and team number in the field quiz responses Google Sheet. I'm going to grab this one. So this is going to go in the chat for you, just as is. Here, I'll open it. Alternatively, you can search for any volunteer in the 100% tab. So I hope you all know that this exists and you can explore it. It should be set to restricted. Let's see if it still is. Great, it is. That's what I like to see. So that's important because not everybody has read and signed the Excellence Pledge. So if you have, you should have been added to the local leads Google group, which would give you access to that. So reminder, anyone who has previously passed the field quiz does not need to pass it ever again. Gonna keep saying that. So role activation, okay. After you confirm that a volunteer on your team has completed the field quiz with 100%, activate their roles that you approve of and that you're aware that they will be using. Right, so I'm gonna do an example here. I'm gonna go into Northeast. I'm gonna go into Northeast 16, which is not a real team. So this is for demonstration purposes. I'm gonna come down and boom, there I am. So that was regions and teams, and then you click your region, you click your team. Here's a member. You get into the member's profile, you can see their information. You can see their teams. So they've only registered as a field captain for NE16. I meant to also do it as a gatherer, but that's okay. So I'm gonna just go ahead and click this activate button. So if I was the regional director of Northeast, which I am not, and sometimes it can not tell you what's going on. So just give it a refresh. Boom, there it is active, yes. And you can also deactivate too. I left that blue, I didn't make it red because it's not really destructive. These buttons up here will activate or deactivate all of the roles on that team. And these can also be a little bit more reliable too. I have run into times where it's just struggling to activate. I found that using these tend to be more reliable, but just keep in mind that if they also registered as a field captain and they're not a field captain, that may activate that if it's the same team. Okay. Okay, so this is a little bit out of date. That's okay. And so you do that for all the volunteers you need to do. Let's talk about field IDs. So everyone who registers is assigned a field ID. Field IDs are attached to a single case-sensitive email address, and they never change. Gatherer couples who typically share an email address should register with different email addresses. It's super important. Run into that a couple times. The structure of a field ID is simple and informative. The first and second characters are the two-letter abbreviation of the region the registrant first registered for, I'll emphasize. The third and fourth characters are the two-digit team number the registrant first registered for. And the fifth and sixth characters are the unique two-digit number applied the first time the registrant registered, determined simply by counting up from 01 to 99 in order of who registered for the team first. Okay, field IDs are not sensitive or secret information. Field IDs can be used to look up personal information of registrants, but only by authorized leaders in STA, such as yourself. So reminder, before accessing any personal information of volunteers, you need to read and sign the Respect Mo Voters Excellence Pledge. I will put that in the chat again because we cannot emphasize it enough. There still may be one or two of you out there who haven't done it. Please, please, please do that. It's super important to our culture and to protecting the personal information of our volunteers. Here's something that has changed. At the beginning of the campaign, Alex Johnson wanted gatherers to not know their field IDs, which I personally found strange. He has since come around on that, and now we are asking gatherers to either memorize or record in an accessible place their own field IDs upon receiving their confirmation email after they register. Many different volunteers, including them, will need to use their field IDs, your field ID, the field IDs of drivers, and more to properly track every signature and sheet to everyone who handles them and everywhere they go. This helps to ensure we know the current status of the campaign and that not a single signature gets lost. So the field ID is an easy shorthand that you can use to identify a person instead of trying to use their email address, which could be all sorts of crazy stuff, or their phone number. Those are much more difficult to work with. You know that all of the members on your team start with the same 2 letters and then 2 numbers, and you just count up from 01 to 13 or whatever. So it's much, much, much easier to work with than anything else. You can look up any registrant in STA using their phone number, email address, full name, or field ID by going to the Search for Volunteers tab. This will pull up all of those pieces of information and more. So this is really cool. We finally fixed this. Search for volunteers. Come down here. You no longer need to search by exact name. This is new as of today. So if I put in Sass, we get 2 things down here. We get Sass and we get Hayden Sasswood. We get 2 options, which is so, so, so wonderful. So finally, email and name, and this says exact email. It does not need to be exact email. I experimented with it earlier. So now it's much, much easier to search for people. We just got a brand new volunteer. Her name is Emily, and she figured this out, or she got this done, I should say, in the last 24 hours. So absolutely wonderful there. Okay, adding a team, again, because people are so emotionally attached to their teams and their field IDs. If someone makes a mistake when registering, they can simply register again and it won't harm anything. Previously, I had this form that was like a shortened version of the register form to try to make it easier to register people for additional teams. Turns out that never worked, or if it did, it wasn't supposed to. And so I'm trying to remake it in a way. It's proving to be very difficult. But so for now, respectvoters.org/add team just goes to the regular registration form. They can do it, or you can do it for them. That's fine. Just be careful and note that it is, the information they're asking for is the information that they will be putting on their petition sheets, which may be different from the information you know them by, such as their name. So, for example, I'm saying Hayden Sasswood. My legal name is Sass. Actually, it's one name, and that's what I would actually put on my petition sheet. So there's all sorts of interesting things. So be careful with that. So again, technical things. How are we doing on time? 7:30. That's not bad. If the email is the same in both registrations, but the region or team is different, then the field ID will stay the same, but they will be added to the additional team. They won't be removed from the other team. Their field ID can still be used by any team anywhere in the state, regardless of whether it matches the team or region they're working with or turning their signatures into. For completeness, if you desire, their roles with other teams can be deactivated. So if it just makes you feel better, go for it. Working with petitions. As a field lead, you will be managing a handful of different sheets of paper with different information on them. You'll write on, organize, and enter data from them. Petition grouping terminology. I'm going to skip a few of these, but a signature, you all know what a signature is. A petition sheet can have up to 10 different signatures. And then a batch. This is an interesting one. You don't really have to worry about it, but it is, I'm putting it here anyway. batch consists of a stack of different petitions, all with the same gatherer and county, typically submitted at the same time. A bundle consists of a stack of different batches, right? So different counties, but the same gatherer. A bundle gets a bundle sheet on top. Bundles are the core unit for grouping and tracking petitions. So this is our latest bundle sheet. It is much more compact, more lines for counties, and I've added a little bit of stuff down here. Yes, it's a good time. We'll maybe look at that a little bit more a little bit later. But so this sentence, bundles are the core unit for grouping and tracking petitions. Keep that in mind. And then a package consists of a stack of different bundles, right? So they can be from different gatherers. A package gets a package sheet on top. This is our latest and greatest package sheet. It's super short and much more relevant, and each step just gets its own line. It makes way more sense now. And so that's great. And I will put links to those in the chat in just a minute. Packages are used to move bundles between teams. That's how you should think of packages, right? Because bundles are the core unit for grouping and tracking petitions. And we have to move them between teams, whether it's from Kansas City to Missouri or it's, Rolla to the verification center. All of those different locations are associated in the software. A team and a location are synonymous. They mean the same thing in the software. So, if SL, 1-2 is like a location. The software doesn't know where on a map it is, but it considers it a location. So this is how you should think about it. Bundles are the core unit for grouping and tracking petitions. Packages are used to move bundles between teams. Okay. So I went through that. Notary events. There is a separate notary event guide for field leads. This subsection covers what's relevant related to sheets and data entry. I'm just going to put that in the chat for you. When a gatherer walks into your notary event, I highly, highly encourage you to, ahead of time, find a volunteer to be the host of that notary event. And that host should instruct the folks walking in to sign in, which I didn't put here, and then take one bundle sheet with them, sit down, relax, take their time, organize and count their petitions and signatures by county, and record on their bundle sheet their field ID, the team ID they're turning their bundle into, which will likely be the same for every gatherer at a given notary event. And you can actually write that in ahead of time on those bundle sheets. So that way it can't be done wrong. You can just fill it in. And then today's date, their contact information, and the number of petition sheets and signatures by county. So I'm going to pull this up again. Their field ID, 6 characters. The receiving team ID, yours, it's 4 characters. The date that they're turning it in, their contact information, and then the county breakdown, 1 county per row. Everybody seems to get this, so I'm not going to belabor it. And then there's also the totals at the bottom, which I forgot, I didn't put in the guide. But it's super important because we've been getting folks who have been counting their sheets wrong or not, or like they're missing the notary stamp, or or they tore the sheets apart from the backing, which you can't do. We had a bad set of petition sheets go out that were 3 pages and had the staple in the wrong corner. We likely won't be able to count those. And it's just a thing that happened. It's super unfortunate. And we're going to our lawyers to get an 18th opinion on it. But that was a very unfortunate thing that did happen. So that's on all of us to slow down a little bit and take our time and try to watch for stuff because, it's a lot of effort from our volunteers that they're putting in. And they really care about this, and we want to make sure that the voice of every Missourian can be heard. And if something's done wrong and they're not somebody we personally know, that voice is taken away from them. So slow down, tell everybody, spread the word, slow down, take your time. Okay. After getting their petition sheets notarized, a gatherer submits their bundle directly to you, field captain. Check that their bundle sheet is complete, that their petitions are grouped by county, and that their petitions have their contact information on it, and that their petitions are notarized. You have two options at this point. You or a volunteer, I highly recommend you find a volunteer to do this. Data enters the bundles into STA right away, and then stores the bundle appropriately in preparation for creating a package after the end of the notary event. Or you can hold on to all of the bundles and then data enter all of them at once sometime after the end of the notary event at your leisure. So whatever you want to do, you decide how you run the night. It doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be like on the dot at the time. It's fine. So entering bundles, I have a separate thing that is for our development team. So these are not real signatures. They don't count towards us. So I'm going to do this to demonstrate what this looks like. So to submit them, you can either just click petition sheets or, okay, yeah, we've got a little bit of formatting that's not perfect. This is the dev one though, this isn't the real one, but submit bundles. Enter your 6-character gatherer field ID. So I'm going to do SL9902, and then we'll hit set gatherer, and then it automatically sets the team based on the gatherer. That was a dumb decision on my part. It should instead auto-populate it based on the field ID of the person who is entering these in. That would make more sense. So that will get changed eventually. Sorry about that. But the important thing here is this note that is now in red. The team ID should be set to the team that is accepting the signatures being turned in. Change the team ID if it is incorrect. Oh, is that not me? Oh, right. It's not. It's any. Okay, I'm going to have to censor that for the video. 1601. There we go. This was what I meant to, this was the one I meant to do. Forgot that it was a different field ID here. Okay. So, and what team it'll be going to, it's not going to be going to SL99, it's going to be going to NE, we'll say 03, set team. And you'll notice that when I typed it in, it went red for a second. That's a bug. It's fine. Just click set team. If you ever see that red and you're like, wait, why is it red? Just click set team. It only happens with the team one. I don't know why. We're going to figure it out. But like I said, it's still in development. And so we see name and email address. I may add full residential address to that too. I think it used to be there, so I'll add it, maybe add it back. So that way you can compare it to the contact information on the bundle sheet to make sure it's the right person. Don't forget to check that. Don't skip that step. And then you'll enter, your counties. You can just type. So FR Franklin, enter. I can tab. You'll notice that it puts limits on plus and minus based on what the other thing is. So, I could put 38 here. I can put plus, but I can't go past 40 because 4 times 10 is 40. So it knows. Cool trick. If it's the city of St. Louis, if you type the word city, St. Louis City. Oh yeah, the voter file, we just ingested the state voter file. There's a county in there called Kansas City, and we don't know why. We don't know what that's about. It's the only anomaly. So if you happen to know why there's like thousands of Missourians registered in the county of Kansas City, please, please, please tell us, because we don't know what to do with that. Because I assume y'all are not going to be turning in petitions like that. So yeah, just a thing. And then you can also scroll if you want to. And so if you need more counties, you just click add a county, And you'll notice that down here, submit bundle is dark blue, which means that if I click it, it doesn't do anything. That's because, and we intentionally did this to force you to slow down and take your time and double check stuff. You have to remove the extra rows. And then this turns light blue, which means it can do something. So I'm going to hit, oops, my zoom bar got in my way, and it is still in my way. I can hit submit bundle. It says creating bundle. Just be patient. Bundle created, view bundle. So I wanted to have for this release, the ability to, I wanted to show the bundle ID, and I was unable to get that done for this release. Soon, hopefully, I'm working on it. I don't know how soon. It will say like bundle NE00022 created. So that's why currently on this bundle sheet, I'm not asking for the bundle ID up at the top, but that will change once we have that there. I do have it down here. So I would, if you want to be kind to your verification center, please put down the bundle ID. The way to do that would be you hit view bundle, and then this is a bug where it doesn't show you anything, and you have to click log in again, and you just be patient, and then it comes up, and it just opened in a new tab too, so that's actually kind of convenient, and it shows the bundle. You can print bundle sheets if you want to. They're kind of not high quality in terms of what they look like and how the information is organized. But yes, that would be wonderful if you were to put the bundle ID in there. And you can see the breakdown, right? These are the batches. Now let's say while I'm here, this is not in the guide right now. Let's say I made a mistake. Let's say it wasn't Benton County, it was Jefferson County. Well, what I can do is I can click these three dots and I can delete just this batch. I can delete that. And so it just deletes that one county and it leaves these here. Now, what you cannot do is put new batches into an existing bundle. Currently, we intend to add more editing features in the future, but we just wanted to have something in place that would allow us to correct mistakes. So this is a very blunt force way to be able to correct mistakes, but at least we have something. There's a delete bundle button, which took me here, that was unexpected. You cannot delete a bundle until you've deleted all of the batches. So let's try deleting all of these, which is also weird because you're going to delete a whole bundle way more often than you want to delete like a single batch. Okay. So I don't know if that's broken in the real one. If it is, I'm going to have to get my devs to fix that. So sorry I didn't test that earlier. But so we saw what that looked like. So let's just submit one more. There, boom, remove. And notice, you would change the gatherer each time. Now, if this is already set, when you change the gatherer, the team doesn't set. It doesn't change. It's only that first one. If it's not cleared out and you need it to be cleared out, you can just refresh the page. I'm going to hit submit bundle. Bundle created, great. And so now I'm going to go on to the next step, which is prepare package, which is yellow because it doesn't actually do anything. It just takes you to the next page. So preparing the package, it automatically pulls the team of your ID, which maybe that's not what you want it to do. Maybe you want it to pull a one of something else. So I'm going to do NE16 here. It turned red. Don't worry about it. It's a bug. You can hit enter. You can hit set team. 0 results. Why? Oh, because it went to SL99, didn't it? Okay, so then we'll switch back to SL99 so we can create a package. Oh yeah, so that would have been this SL99005. So typically what you would see is like all of them are the same first 4, or technically first 5. All the ones in your team, you would normally leave them all checked. But what can happen here is if you're a midpoint, like you're in mid-Missouri, you can receive a package with a bunch of bundles in it. And once you receive it, then now the bundles are on your location. And so those are now local bundles you have access to, and you would repackage those along with other bundles that you have in order to send it off with the next driver. So I'm going to make a package out of.
Sass, I'm
Yes.
sorry to interrupt. You're losing me here, especially
Okay.
when you get to the driving thing, because drivers meet people in parking lots, and we
Mm-hmm.
just take petitions, put them in our car, and we go back. They put them in their car, and we go back home. So if we have this kind of thing to do, so can you just back up, because I'm writing down
Yeah.
questions, but right now I think I heard you say, this is Nancy, by the way, um,
Yeah.
St. Joe region. I mean, my driver has them from 2 or 3 notary nights, and then she might have to stop 50 miles down the road physically in St. Joe because she doesn't live there. We don't live there. She picks up another batch from that notary night or two, and then she can't sit in a parking lot with a computer and do what you're just saying. Is that what you're just saying? That some of this has to be done as we move them on to another driver, and then she drops them off in Kansas City in a parking lot, and that driver takes over. So I'm sorry, just kind of, can you back up to what you just
Yeah.
said about drivers have to do this?
So yeah, I appreciate that feedback. That was not something we had considered. Part of the problem is that this app is not currently mobile friendly. So that feedback is really important, because now I can go to my dev team and I can say, part of making this mobile friendly is we want to make it really easy for drivers to do this on their phone in a parking lot in less than a minute. So that's really helpful. So what I'm going through right now is sort of the idealized version. Most of you have not been doing half of this stuff. Okay. I see you there, Nancy, in the chat. This is the idealized version, because these petition sheets, these signatures are really, really valuable, and we want to know where they are at all times. Especially if something happens, we want to know who had them last. We want to know where they were last. And so if you're passing them off in a parking lot, you're not from one driver to another driver, you're not really passing it from a team to a team, but the driver ID does change. So I would just say for now, what you should do in that kind of a situation is just put in the driver ID of the person who starts taking it. And when we receive it, if it's a different driver, it's a different driver. And I'm not going to worry about that right now. So thank you, Nan. Thank you. That was very helpful. I'm glad you spoke up. So yes, I know I've just been talking at you all for 45 minutes. We're getting really close to the end of my talking at you. And then we'll open the floor for questions. I'm just trying to take it methodically, go over every piece of information, because everybody's missing different details. This is recorded, and so you will be able to watch it again, scroll through it, and just review the points you want to. So yes, and thank you. All right. So creating the package, this happens, before. This happens when you've got all the bundles you want to send off. You don't have to do this when you're sending them off. You can do this ahead of time. And so you create the package. And I think this is also going to give me a bug. We're going to find out here. Package created, view package. Oh, great. I think it worked. Nope, no, it did not work. I'm sorry about that. That used to work and now it doesn't. So that's one of the things that got worse. I want to show you this new package sheet. So when you create it, you would just fill out these top 3 lines: sheet total, signature total, package ID. I want to show you how to find a package. So if you go to petition sheets and you go to view packages now, which is a new button that was not there before. Before, this was super hidden and difficult to find. So now that's a lot easier to find. View local bundles is still buried. If you're looking for that, that's still hard to find. But view packages is now much easier to find. And then you can go through the unsent packages and notice that there's pagination up here. And so you want to go find yours. So ours was SL, so it's first alphabetical by the 2, and then it seems random. It doesn't seem chronological to me, so I don't know what it is. But the numbers do tell you what's going on. So the most recent one is going to be the highest number. So SL quadruple 08. And we can see these are the 3 bundles that I selected. And if you have those bundle IDs written down on your bundle sheet, that can make it much easier for you to confirm that you have all the bundles you're supposed to have. If you want to write in the blank space and put down the bundle IDs, that's fine. You can do whatever you want. These are just pieces of paper that we use internally. The government's not looking at them. So feel free to scribble and scratch. But we've got information up here. It's currently unsent. It tells you the petition count. It tells you the signature count. And this big number up here is your package ID. In fact, you also see that if you hit the back button in your browser, which is pretty smart. It usually knows where to take you, what your intention is. Except it does not maintain the where you are scrolled on the page and the pagination here. You'll actually see this right here. The petition count, the signature count, and the package ID, which are the 3 things I want here. So you don't even have to click in. If you're confident that that's yours, you don't even have to click in. But I'm going to, just to show the next step now. So it shows you it was, this package was created by team SL99. So now it's time to send it. Your driver's here, or you're going to drive it, whatever. So it's at the time that you're about to give this to the driver. You got to click into this package. You're going to hit send package. You put in the driver's 6-character field ID. So let's just say it's this. So that's setting the driver. Give it a sec and then submit. I know this looks weird with this gap. We're going to get that fixed too. I was trying to make it better, and then I went overboard with the width, and I ran out of time to shrink that down. And so now it's been sent. It's been sent by SL. It's sent by the person who was logged in, which happened to be me, and the driver was manually entered, which I entered myself. And then that's it. If you are receiving a package from somewhere else, because you're a midpoint, or like I said, I keep using Mid-Missouri as an example because it's kind of the perfect example. You can just go into. Wow, that's giving me trouble. Okay, if you click it, it stays down. In-transit packages, which there's typically much fewer of. There's still a lot here because this is just testing environment. There's no pagination on this because it doesn't expect there to be this many. There's in real life, in the real one, there's way fewer. And you'd be like, oh, you have a package for me? Okay, what's the package ID? SL quadruple 08? Oh, here it is on the thing. So I'm just going to click into it. Check that all the bundles are there. Everything looks good. The petition count, signature count makes sense. And then I can click receive package and just what team is receiving it. It's probably yours. Maybe it's not. So, and it can even arrive back at the same team it started at. The software doesn't care. So just for demonstration purposes, set team, submit. And then that's it. It's received. And now the bundles are available to be repackaged by the team that received it, SL99. And so on these package sheets, sending information, sending team, sender field ID, driver field ID, those all show up there. When you send it, you can write it down. And then receiver, same deal. And then you can leave this for the verification center. So I want to give you the links to these sheets. And then we'll open it up for discussion. So bundle sheet there. Oh, and then Alex likes to differentiate between nightly packages and weekly packages. The software does not differentiate between the two. That's purely a semantic difference. he considers nightly to be from the field captains, who then turn it into their regional directors, and the regional directors send out a weekly package to head toward the verification center. It's clearly been a much messier and process than that, which I don't think is a bad thing. It's just the notary nights, the notary events are all over the place. So let's see here. Creating packages, sending packages. Oh, one last thing on sending packages. This is inform Lauren at dispatch@respectvoters.org that you have a package of petitions ready to be sent and where you'll be sending it from. Additionally, it says both your team and like actual geographical location. I put dispatch@respectvoters.org in the chat. Additionally, tell Lauren about any supplies you may need. Think ahead and overstock. Lauren will coordinate with you and the other drivers and the other field captains and those who have supplies and those who don't to figure out the most efficient way to deliver everything to everyone where it needs to be. So think ahead, plan it out. Lauren centralizing that information empowers us to be the most efficient. Okay, that's it. I know that was a lot. I just talked at you for like 55 minutes, so just take a breath. Thank you all. I'm going to stick around for questions, to walk through stuff, review things, even things I went over. It's okay for us to go over them again. That's totally fine. I'm glad you were all here. Thank you so much for being here. This is recorded. I will share this recording with you the same way that I invited you to come here. It'll just be an email that I'm going to send out to every field captain and regional director with a link to it. It will be up on our volunteer resources YouTube channel. None of you are required to stick around, by the way. If you feel like you got what you needed or you feel like your information overload, then you're fine. Oh, I see you, Mike. That's a good idea. Give you all the links. The main thing is all those links are in the field leads guide. So I can grab that link. I will send that out in the same email, and that has all of it. So it'll be the field leads guide and the YouTube video, which I'll probably link the YouTube video in the field leads guide. Okay, Amy, go ahead.
Okay, I have a couple questions. First of all, you said people can use that register for field. I have been sending out the leader one because the register for field, I had people registering 4 and 5 times and still never showing up. And so Alex told me just to send out the leader, register for field as a leader one, but just put signature gatherer. So is that register for field one fixed now? Can I send that?
Yes, great question. I apologize. I meant to address this. Yes, on launch day, September 10th, the volume was just too big. And so we had a bunch of people who registered and didn't go through. There was also a weekend where I broke the registration form without realizing it when Katie asked me to separate partner orgs and our regions, and things got messy and did some things I wasn't expecting. And then we later found out that there was a bug where if Action Network sends like a batch of registrations at the same time and just one of them is bad for whatever reason, then all of them would be bad. And so that's been fixed. So the registration form is now more stable. And top secret, the leader and register links have been the same for weeks. They've gone to the same place. Alex wanted me to separate them because he didn't want people doing regional director or field captain. And I was like, well, just don't activate the roles. It doesn't really matter, but whatever. So with the register link also has regional director and field captain on it. So I'm very sorry that people were running into problems. It's hopefully more stable now. It has not been perfect. I still don't think it is perfect. We're doing our best, and we're gonna keep trying to go for it. Definitely, if you have like specific people, you can submit a tech support request. I put the link in the chat earlier for that. I'll do it again and say like, this person is having trouble. Here's all of their information that you'll need in order to register them, because we may go ahead and figure out what the problem is, or that will enable us to find it in the system, diagnose the bug. You may help us find a new bug by giving us all of that information. And then we may just go in and register them so that way you don't have to bother with it anymore. So respectvoters.org/help. You can submit a tech support request and document the issue. So hopefully that answers your question, Amy.
Okay. Actually, I have one more.
Oh,
So,
yeah, go for it.
so if we use that, like we put in the field ID of the person and then we put in the team, like where it says set team, then that sends all of those signatures to that team. And my field
Yes.
captains are hot because they
Yeah.
cannot see how many signatures their teams are gathering. I can't, like, because if you look at the Kansas City one, you'll see team 3 has like 5,000 signatures and then half of them have none. It's because I'm the one that keeps putting them in and I'm team 3. So like they have no visibility into how many signatures their people are gathering. I have no visibility into like which field captains and teams are actually doing anything.
Yes, I have an answer. I've
Okay.
meant to address this and I forgot to, so thank you for bringing this up. The plan now is it's weird to me that this didn't happen when it was first developed, but that's okay. It's all the math is in there, so we can do this retroactively. It's not a problem. But we want to start measuring the signatures of each gatherer, which was always the plan. And so then we can then associate each bundle with the team of the gatherer rather than the team that was selected when it was entered. And we can actually have sort of two different metrics, like teams it was turned into or just based on the gatherer. We can throw out the first one if we decide we don't want it. Well, that's actually questionable. That's a whole other thing. But we can have that additional metric. So we're working toward that. And the other thing that will have to go along with that is the ability to change the primary team of somebody. So this is a back-end thing. So the first time somebody's registers, that in the back end, that team is their primary team. It is possible to change the primary team, just not using the app at this time. And so that's on the list of additional things to change. And once we know everything that a gatherer, like that each gatherer gathered, we have the numbers for individual gatherers, and then we can change primary teams using the app. That unlocks like a whole bunch of wonderful things, a whole bunch of metrics that we're looking for. So tell your captains, I'm so sorry that it is that way. Right now, that was never the intention, and it won't stay that way. And in the future, it will retroactively fix that metric, so it's not lost and gone forever. Those numbers will come back to them, and hopefully in like 2 weeks ish is my guess. It's kind of hard to say. We still need to get everything in for us to be able to start actually validating signatures, which will give us accurate counts for congressional districts. Right now, we only have estimates because of the counties that are split are the biggest counties in the state, like Jackson and St. Louis County.
So
yes,
then
totally hear you on that.
So then will it show like on each gatherer, once this all happens, like when you go into the team and then you see all the people, you'll be able to see how many signatures each gatherer gathered? Because we have people who are like going out 6 days a week and getting 500 signatures, and like they need to be celebrated, and I have no idea how to do that because
the Good Vibes department is working very hard on how to do that, and they'll be ready to go as soon as we have that metric available. So that was always the intention. Once we have that metric, the intention is to send out an email every single week to every gatherer and say, this is how many signatures you gathered in the last week. This is how many signatures you gathered total. This is how many signatures we validated, and here's your validation percent. So like that's always been the plan. And I'm sorry that it isn't here now. I thought it was going to be, and it's not. And I apologize for that. But now that we're over this hurdle, that's like big of like getting the app to be more usable. I know we got to get those package IDs and bundle IDs showing. That I think we can get done pretty quick, and I'm going to elevate. But like, yeah, getting the individual gatherers is actually the number one priority. Katie made that very clear to me. So that'll actually probably maybe take less than a week now that I think about it, because and then that will reassign credit to teams, allow us to reassign credit to teams, and unlock a lot of amazing things. So yes,
Thank you, Cass.
heard loud and clear. Debbie, thank you for being patient. Go ahead.
No problem at all. I just want you to make it clear about the staple. If you get
Oh, yeah.
forms that have staples in the right corner, they need to be returned because we need staples in the left corner. Is that correct?
No. So it's the staple should be at a 45-degree angle on the top left corner of the petition, and there should be exactly two pieces of paper, legal size, same size. The signature page on the front, the most of the constitutional amendment language on the back, and then the second sheet on just the one side on the front of it will have the remainder of the constitutional amendment language and be blank on the back. We had a bad stack of petitions printed incorrectly where it was not double-sided, it was single-sided, so it was 3 pages instead of 2, and the staple was in the wrong corner. The staple was in the bottom left corner, and it was horizontal instead of angled. And those all go together. There's no mixing and matching. There's only those two versions. So the first version I described is correct. The second version is wrong. If you see them and there's no signatures on them, don't use them. If it would be appreciative if you were to send them to the verification center with your next thing. So you just send the blank ones, because we just want to know where they are and know how many are still out there and everything, and where they're coming from and where they went to, because they got spread farther and wider than we had than I think we realized. So just thank you everybody for keeping an eye out for that. Again, this is another one of the slow down things that, like, these only got distributed because a group of us didn't slow down enough. And so, and we didn't explain it to everybody, and we knew it happened, and we didn't communicate well. So thank you all. This is obviously very difficult work, and you're all leaders, and so you're all so dedicated, and I can't appreciate that enough. And so just really proud of you all. Glad to have you here.
Thank you, Saz. I just wanted to make it clear that there were some that were not to be used. I appreciate you.
Yes, absolutely. Floor is open for more folks.
Okay, thank you. I think I heard you say we should not activate drivers. Did I hear you say
verifiers. Verifiers. Sorry, I may have misspoke.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
you probably didn't. I just heard ERS, and I
That's
was
right.
question. Okay. Can you bring up the new package sheet? Can you share that? I mean, I have it on my other monitor, but that one. Okay, so the last 2 times I submitted things, I didn't put in the weekly one because we were told we didn't need it. That was being done digitally in the tracker. So now we'll use this sheet, and if we have 3 different notary nights, and I know other regions have many, many more. If we have 3 notary nights in a given week, will there be, by 3 different people, supervising them, let's call them set teams, I think they're called. Will we have 3 of these then, or 1? Because again, we are geographically separated, as all the regions are, so they don't all come back to me. It's just not geographically sound. So there will be 3.
There will be 3 of these. They'll each have their own, which is totally fine.
One
and
from
they'll
each
just
notary event. Okay.
Yep, and they'll just go wherever they go. And
so sheet total is the summary, of course, of all the sheets and all the signature totals. And we'll have to, I'm using have to. We'll have to look at all the bundle sheets and do that math ourselves. Okay.
Or go find the package.
I know, but yeah, this is new to me that, and so
That's
that
okay.
I'm just gonna do it manually for now in my
That's
thinking.
totally fine.
I
It's
mean,
way
I maybe,
easier than having to do all the counties, though, which is what we used to have on there. So you don't have to worry
yeah,
about that anymore.
that's true. So can you go back to the form? So that makes sense to
Yes.
me. Okay, horizontally, the first row. Okay, package ID. So that we pull from the STA evidently. And that, right? We get that from the STA, the package ID?
Yes. So if
Was
if you're
that wasn't
missing the package ID, it's not the end of the world if you can't figure it out and you don't have the package ID on there. So I just want you to know that. Don't stress too
okay.
much. I don't want you
Okay.
to waste a bunch of time trying to find this damn thing. So
Okay.
I've tried to make it a little bit easier. So under petition sheets, view packages. In the future, it will just say it right when you create the package. It will just tell you the package ID right then and there, and it will be much easier. But it will take you to unsent, which right now there's a lot of unsent packages, which you are St. Joe. So St. Joe comes pretty late. So I just go to skip to the
I'm
last
sure
one.
all of mine are unsent. I didn't,
Well, no, we send lots of packages on behalf of all of you all the time. Whenever they arrive, we create packages and then send them from you to us while the pieces of paper are all sitting here. Uh, so we're trying to we're
I
definitely
know.
supporting you, helping you out.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So so it
So,
will likely be SJ, a couple zeros, then whatever the highest number is will be the most recent one that was made. And so it's all right here. Your package ID, your petition count, and your signature count will all be right there.
okay. Okay. So what was the next row on that form?
That was for when you send it. Oops, here we go. Let me just close
Okay.
that.
And so that's my, okay. Okay. So the sending team, is that the same as the set team on the bundle sheet? Who's the sending team? Who is
Um,
that?
that would typically, so again, so think of teams and locations as synonymous. So it's about like if you're sending, do you consider yourself what, SJ01,
Oh,
02? What do you
I'm
consider
first, of
yourself?
course. Of course, I'm
Well, okay,
SJ
yeah,
0101.
hey, Alyssa
Um,
wanted BH99, so whatever.
so I'm just thinking, because there will be a notary night I don't go to. So you can use me as one, you can use me as one, you could use, okay, so I'm SJ01. So if I'm at the notary night, okay, well, okay, okay, oh, okay. This is what's confusing. So, I have my whole bunch of, I guess it's called a package, right? And it's from what I got from my notary night. Let's just say I went to St. Joe's last week, and then on Thursday, and then on Saturday I went to Maryville's notary. So I have I guess I'm getting all confused on these forms because I didn't enter them at all until I entered them on Sunday. So I had one package. Why do I wanted to have them every night? That's my question. And I don't have the
So
volume Kansas City and St. All these bigger regions have. So I just entered them once. I mean, I
yeah,
wasn't going to
and that's
sit there in at the computer in the coffee shop and try to do it when people are talking at you and asking questions and
yeah.
socializing and all that. So,
Yes. So I want to help you understand. So I'm gonna. Oops, if my mouse wants to work, it will in a minute. So this again, this idea of like you're doing these three notary events. Are you the main like captain director at all three of these notary events?
I can be in a given week. For now, they've just been ending up with me because this is all new I need to understand it before I can pass it on to my captains. And there was only
Okay.
one other field captain on tonight anyway, yeah. So let's just say this
Okay.
first 2 weeks I was.
Yeah. So in that case, since they're all coming to SJ01, that's the team that all of the bundles are being submitted to. When you go to make your package, you're going to be sending it from SJ01. You'll almost always send it from SJ01 because that's just your team. Like the verification center, like I'm the only one, like we're the only ones who would almost ever change the sending team. It will pretty much always be whatever team you're on. And so I don't think you need to make a separate package for each of those 3 nights. If you're like, I was under the impression that those were 3 different captains doing it.
Well,
But if it's
it
just
could be,
you in
but
3
it's,
different places,
yeah, it's not right now because this is also new, so I
yeah,
wanted to figure out, so
yeah,
then it's like train the trainer. Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
So
okay, so I'll have one form for this week, one form for this week.
great. Yeah, that's totally fine. If it's all coming to you anyway, if all the bundles are coming to you, remember, bundles are the core unit of grouping and tracking signatures. Packages are used to send bundles of petitions from one location to another location, with a location being synonymous with a team.
Yep. Okay. So
So,
can you go back to
yeah.
that form? I'm almost through the second row. So,
Oh, sorry. Yes, yes, yes.
okay. So, because I like looking at you, I appreciate eye contact. So I would be the sending team this week because we got one going this week. The sender field ID must be me, my 6 digits.
Yes.
And then the driver field ID is probably going to be me because I have a trip to Columbia and Jefferson City. So why would I expect Kansas City? Surprise, Amy. Why would I ask Kansas City to drive to mid-Missouri if I'm going to Columbia on Tuesday anyway? So if I'm
Sure.
the driver field ID, that's me. Okay. So
Yep.
then when I deliver these to Karina's home, I think she's the receiver, then she or I write her little number down, I guess. Okay.
Karina would be the one to receive it then.
Okay. So
So,
so I'm fine with this paper form. I just am not comfortable with like pulling over into a Panera Bread and getting on their Wi-Fi and
yeah.
opening up my computer and then entering all that in, right?
No, yeah. So you would not. So just keeping it simple, focusing on this week. You not need to do anything in the Panera Bread because you're gonna send it before you leave your home, and then
Yeah.
when you get to
Yeah.
Karina's gonna receive it
Okay.
herself at her home.
Okay. But at some point, and I'm sure Kansas City's the same way, and other regions with multiple notary nights in various zip codes. I mean, it very well could be like there's just 3 drivers in my region alone. Kansas City may have 6 or 7. So again, I don't want to get hung up in the weeds, but I just logistically this.
So
I'll wait for the app to be mobile and then I'll go from there, I guess.
right, but again, so as was brought up earlier, you make a very good point about the Panera Bread, and so I don't need y'all to go through this formal process in a parking lot. That's not necessary. You can just hand off the petitions and keep going, and that's okay. And you don't need to fill out anything else on here. You don't need to. I mean, it would be nice if you like wrote down the additional driver ID. That'd be like just like in pen and not. But you don't have to do anything digitally. Don't worry about that. We may come up with some sleek solution in the future, but for now we don't have that, and so I'm just going to accept it for what it is.
Okay, I'll try not to get lost in the weeds here. Okay, I think those were my questions. I think those were my questions. So
Okay, great.
sorry,
And I
guys.
doubt you'll ever be receiving any package. Well, maybe from your field captains.
That's a point, not a point in contention. That sounds really mean and nasty. But geographically, the Kirksville region wants to go to the west side of Missouri and bring them to St. Joe, which is on the Missouri River, almost in Kansas, when they are straight shot geographically north of mid-Missouri, Columbia. So we're letting them do that, but where they could deliver the petitions Wednesday from Kirksville region to Columbia on Wednesday, they're having their driver on Sunday come to St. Joe.
They probably just already going that way. But this is what Lauren is for. Dispatch at respectvoters.org.
She's working on it. She's working on it. And it could
Great.
also be because of when volunteers can drive, and we understand that. And that region is very geographically large, and so
Mhm.
they have to cover all their 19 counties, and maybe that's logistically what it is. So we're good.
Mhm.
We're a team. We'll make it work.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
it's their miles, not mine.
Great.
Okay, I have a question about,
Oh, there's my Amy or my Mary.
yeah, we go from Maryville to St. Joe, pick up a bundle. So then they make out a sheet for that bundle, and then I have to make out a sheet for when I drop it off in Kansas City?
No. And it would be a package. So you're just stopping through St. Joe on your way to Kansas City, correct? And you're just picking up some extra petitions, right?
It's a natural drop, yes.
Great.
part
Yes.
of our
So
drop.
great. So yeah. So what that would be is like you've got your own bundles, you put them together in a package and hit send in the app, and then you drive down and you stop in St. Joe, and they hand off some petitions and they hit send and they put your driver ID in, and you just grab the petitions and you go. And when you get to Kansas City, then you drop them off and then they hit receive. So you don't have to, as a driver, you don't have to do almost anything in terms of computer interface or whatever. You just have to tell people your field ID, basically, when somebody gives stuff to you. That's basically it. And so, oh, thank you, Judy. Yeah, so it is simpler. It is then. I know this feels like a lot, but
Okay,
I want to
now
try to
you're,
keep this.
So then do I
Yeah,
have, when I receive them in Kansas City, then do I have to get another sheet for St. Joe and like, because there's no other, like, once I receive them, there's no like next step on the form.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. So let's go through this example. Um, so let's, I don't know, we'll show this. So it started in, sorry, Mary, what town was it?
it starts in Maryville,
Maryville. So they start in Maryville. They have one package sheet for all their Maryville bundles.
right?
They put in the driver ID. Driver starts driving down. They get to St. Joe. In St. Joe's got its own package with a bunch of bundles in it, and they give it to that driver, and they put in the driver's field ID, and then they hit send, and then that driver keeps going, and then that driver gets to Kansas City, and they drop off both of these packages in Kansas City. So what happens is Kansas City goes to somebody in Kansas City would hit whoever's receiving it, goes to in transit, and then they would select, one of the packages, whichever one first, it doesn't matter. And then they would hit receive package. I'm not going to click it right now because this is the real stuff. And then now they've received that package, and now those bundles are on location with them. And then they would do it with the next package too. So you just go back to in transit again, find the other package, receive it. And so now that team has bundles from Maryville. They've got bundles from St. Joe. They've got bundles from Kansas City. They've got these bundles from all over the place, which is totally fine. And they're all on the same team, right? So then you just have to prepare a package, and the software knows that you have bundles from Marysville and bundles from St. Joe and bundles from Kansas City, and you'll see them all listed here with different, abbreviations, and you can create a package with these bundles from all over the place because a package is just a way to move bundles from one team to another. You create your one package with all the stuff together, and then you send it out again with whoever your driver is to then go to mid-Missouri or whatever. And then they take it from there. So that's
So-
what that,
So,
yeah.
so I'm sorry,
go
it's Nancy, but you just told me a little while ago, we didn't have to worry about being somewhere digitally to do that. In other words, they would go home and do that? The driver from Kansas City?
Well, no,
So
Wait,
So you
so
guys,
oh, okay. So I was making an assumption.
so you guys are, I mean, so,
No, hang on. I was making an assumption that is you and I were making different assumptions, which is okay. So we'll walk through that. I was assuming that they were not being delivered in a parking lot in Kansas City, but rather they were delivered to somebody's home in Kansas City, somebody who is like waiting for petitions to come in and they haven't sent anything out yet.
no, how about a quick trip parking lot in Platte
Yes.
City?
No, I understand. And that's different. That's a different situation. So they go down to Kansas City and they meet somebody in a parking lot. That person in the parking lot already has the Kansas City petitions with them. And there's this package from St. Joe. There's this package from Marysville. That driver just gives those two packages to that other driver. This driver is now carrying three separate packages. They don't reconfigure them, and they just carry these three separate packages over to mid-Missouri. So those are different situations because you may be waiting for packages to come up from Southwest, and those might come on a different day before you send everything out. So the idea of receiving in the software, like the point of that is like if you're going to be holding on to them for some time and remixing them with additional bundles to make a new package, a new bigger package that's going to go out later. So that's the purpose. But if you're just handing it off in a parking lot for now, you don't gotta mess with receiving and resending. You can just take the package, you can just physically hand over the packages and take them where they need to go. So yes, very good point. And I hope hopefully I spelled out that difference clearly.
I mean, not in reality, here's how it's been working. So, the packages, I meet Nancy or I meet Mary or I meet somebody, we get the packages. Yeah, I pick them up in like Zona Rosa, Platte City, somewhere. They come to my house. They may be at my house for like a half an hour, 20 minutes before I drive then farther south to meet somebody at a quick trip off of 470 who happens to be driving through from Santa Fe, New Mexico, and like put them in their car. So like I don't know, it just seems like it's actually working quite well the way it's
Yeah,
working now. And this
I
feels like
don't
putting so much like extra
I,
stuff when
I
like
don't want to change that because the whole point is like it's like we're trying to keep track of where the signatures are, right? Like that's the purpose of this is like yes, it's wonderful that you're making things work, but like we if we receive a package in St. Louis and it's like in the software it says one thing and physical reality is something else and we don't have a way to know where stuff actually is, like we can't troubleshoot. We can't be like, oh, we know that this person left a box in their car or something. Like that's the point is like the tracking is an important piece of this operation. And so like what I'm, that 20 or 30 minutes, you don't have to receive and repackage. That's fine. I'm not going to stress about that right now.
I'm just saying I'm
But
not the
like,
driver that goes to mid-mo, but I'm like facilitating getting it to the driver who's going to mid-mo. So does that make me a
so
receiver and then
wait, but so are you driving to KC?
I live in KC.
Oh,
I
you
drive
live in
up and
KC.
get them
Sorry.
yeah, so I go up and I get them from Nancy. Like Nancy and I meet halfway, or Mary and I meet halfway between St. Joe and Kansas City. And then I'll come back to my house maybe for a little bit because maybe it's a couple hours before the driver, whoever it is gonna like head on to mid-mo. I'm never the one driving them to mid-mo, but I usually am the one getting them from Nancy. So I'm just
Gotcha.
it's just kind of confusing.
No, no, I hear you. I'm just trying to. So,
I don't know what anybody's driver number is.
well, I mean, you can look them
And
up, or really, they should know.
there's a spreadsheet
Oh,
that
there.
has been started with drivers.
Okay.
And, but it doesn't have, that's one thing I noted, we need to add our driver numbers on there. And, yeah, I mean, so far for 2 weeks, we've made it work. We've made it work. And
Well,
driver
I
ID,
want to push back and say that it hasn't, because it's been quite the mess at the verification center that we've been having to clean up. What's been entered, we don't know. Things aren't clear. Things aren't packaged properly, and we have to spend an egregious amount of time trying to track every single petition sheet and bundle down. So I appreciate that anecdotally it feels like it's working, but the reason that we are trying to implement electronic tracking is because it hasn't been in reality. Like, the numbers aren't matching up, and I get that some regions and some captains and some directors are doing it better than others, and I appreciate that. And that's part of why I wanted to do this training, is I wanted to help level that out, and bring everybody up. And so, like, I hear that you're giving these very kind of gray situations, these kind of on the line, which way do we go situations. And I appreciate you sharing that with me. And I want to work with you to find the solution that makes the most sense, and keeps things as easy and simple as possible without losing the thing that we really need, which is tracking this stuff. So I love that you've been making it work physically. That's fantastic. And I want to find a way to marry that with the digital, so that way we can know where everything is at all times. Does that make
you
sense?
mentioned, yes, I think somewhere it said that we should call, or we should email or call Lauren when we are like in transit. Well, I didn't know we were
No,
to
no, no,
do
no,
that.
no. No.
Oh,
You
okay.
just email her ahead of time and say, this is what I can do. This is when I can do it. This is what I'm planning on doing. This is my regular schedule. Whatever it is, just let her know through email,
So every
when you
week we
can.
should do that. So
No,
let's say,
if you know that it's a regular thing, you can
okay.
email her once and say, every week at this time I'm going to do this thing with this stuff.
Well, I think
To
that's
just
the purpose of our Google Sheet.
Great, that's fantastic. And if Lauren is setting up new systems, and if Lauren tells you you don't need to email that to me, you can just put it in the Google Sheet. Do what Lauren says. So
Okay.
Lauren is empowered to make those decisions. She hasn't informed me to tell people anything different, but definitely listen to her over me on that.
Could she be could she be the one that knows where they're at all times? I mean, could there be
I want her to be.
yeah, I mean, and is she privy to the backside and getting the driver ABC dropped it off to driver XYZ, and XYZ dropped it off at EFG, or not?
You're making a good point that's actually
Because to me,
that I
that would ease
the, the
our
that makes
our
sense, and I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you're talking about it, because that does make sense to have Lauren help with handling the trade-offs of the packages from team to team to team when it's this kind of rapid succession thing in parking lots. And she can assign that to people too. We have other volunteers who would be happy to do that data entry. So that I'm good with. That makes sense. And since with Lauren being the center of that knowledge, I could absolutely see that as a way to help y'all out, so that way we can get the tracking that we want, and you can continue to do what's been physically working for you.
Because if we have bundles, all our bundles will have numbers this week. It sounds like when we enter them into the STA, I mean, I say this week because our only notary night's on a Saturday, and I'm sure there's other ones already in progress, and they've done it this week. But let's just say, if we could somehow submit to her bundle, what are they going to be? SJ08 to SJ10 are in transit with driver SJ0401. I mean, is there a way we could do that? And then
Yeah.
they're handed off to KC 2603 or something. Wow.
Yeah. You can. Yeah. So I would want, I think that's a good idea. Of course, Lauren ultimately is empowered to decide. That I don't get to tell her what to do. So I think that's a great idea, and I encourage you to suggest it to her, and I now want to talk to her about it and see what she thinks and what she thinks makes sense. I mean, at that point, there's a little bit of like, if you're going to go through and say, package ID this is leaving from this team at this time with this driver, and these are all the IDs of everything. It's a little bit of, and you're going to do that every single time. I don't know that it's better to do that over email than to just use the system that does half the work for you.
Because now I'm thinking back, you did show something in the tracker that had all that, but that's because we have to enter it in a parking lot on our phone.
No, half of that is automatically generated.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Paula. Okay, Susan.
Oh, okay. My hand's up. I didn't take care of that. You showed us the physical and we downloaded it maybe 4 times because it was in there 4 times. The physical, I am tired right now.
Package sheet, bundle sheets.
Yes, the package sheet. I understand bundle sheets. The package sheet, when do we use that? You prefer having it done in the software?
Yeah, so let's look at this. So the package sheet is like, this is when you're packaging up the bundles. So again,
Okay.
bundles are the core unit of grouping and tracking signatures. And packages are just a way to move bundles from one team to another. So if you've got a bunch of bundles and it's time for you to send them somewhere, what you want to do is put them together in a package. Here, let me do this in my development thing. Prepare package. And it's going to, when you create that package, it's going to give you some information that you can put down. The most important piece of information is the package ID, which ideally would, so for example, if I had those bundles and I was going to send those, the plan is hopefully soon, maybe in like a week, and my mouse just did dumb stuff again. Okay, let's do this. That it will say like package SL00016 created. And if you can just write down that package ID on that, on this, and even if that's the only thing you get on there, but you do everything else electronically that you're supposed to, that's like good enough. Honestly, like that's the number one thing, because if everything else is done electronically and we have that package ID, we can very, very easily look up all the other information that we need. Okay. So this is definitely like a clash between Alex wanting to do everything on paper and me wanting to do everything digitally and like really distribute the workload and have everybody like enter their own petitions. So that's a little bit of what's going on. And so I've been fighting to reduce your paperwork, which hopefully you see that this has been dramatically reduced from what it used to be. So that's what I've been trying to do is reduce your paperwork, so that way you can just let you do just do a little bit of clicking, because this stuff generates half the stuff you need to write down anyway. So sorry, I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah, I think
Probably.
it did. I think recording the drivers is what the physical package sheet is for, maybe. So I've been printing out package sheets, and I actually have probably 3 packages to send tomorrow with Claire.
Sure.
Because
So
I'm
you
not doing
could-
them all at once. I did some and then created the package. I didn't know where everything was going. Now it makes more sense because you got some menus we can check things with.
Yeah. That makes sense. So are you in SF? You're good.
RL.
RL
in the-
Rala. Okay. Okay. So
But Springfield is coming up here. Claire's going to St. Louis, so she's stopping in
great. Do you happen to know which packages are yours?
that.
You can look at the
Yeah,
signature count. That will be
oh,
informative.
right. Well, I think I was using a version when I did this one that was printing out everything 3 times.
Yeah, I think I fixed that.
Okay, good.
I don't know for sure. I haven't tested it, but I think I did.
All right, good. Yeah, the package is RL 00011.
Oh yeah, here we go. RL 00011.
And 294 signatures.
Boom, right here, 75 sheets.
Okay, and then Virginia does her own.
Sure.
She brings them to me. So she's got her own packages going with this. And that's 10.
Okay.
And then I have one more to do because I finally got the field IDs for 2 people.
Gotcha. So okay, so you still have to submit the bundles, and you're going to create a new package. Yeah. So, you know, yeah, what I would probably do is just send those 3 packages with Claire. Claire's field ID, I think, is SF0104. Hopefully she knows hers.
Okay.
I want to see, yeah, so it looks fixed here. Let's see if it's actually fixed. Yay, I did fix it.
What was it?
It used to list all the bundle IDs 3 times a piece.
Oh, right.
Like,
Yeah, that's what it's been doing for me every time I've made one. And I
yes,
just
I had
crossed the others out.
Yeah, I had somebody who was like freaking out. They were like, "Oh my god! Like, why did this all get duplicated?" I was like, "No, it's just a bug. It's not actually duplicated. It's just the printing is weird." So, yes, definitely. Like that would actually be my. Oh, mine. I wasn't even sharing screen. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. No, I think I
Anyway,
get it.
that's my number one. So like my number one thing is like, please, 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 pretty please, don't stress yourself out. Like just let it be. The most important thing is the signatures. We want to keep the signatures safe. This tool helps us make them even safer. It's right. It adds more protection.
Sure.
And so that's the number one thing is like, it's okay. Whatever it is, we're going to sort it out. We're going to get it. It's going to happen. We're going to make it happen. Nobody's going to fire you. You're going to be fine.
No, we're volunteers. You can't fire us.
That's my point. And so, and actually we have fired 1 or 2 volunteers. Before. That is absolutely a thing we can do. If they sign the excellence pledge and then they were not excellent to others, so you can't stick around if you're not going to be excellent to others. And so yeah, so that's the number 1. The number 2, submit the bundles. That's the second most important thing.
Okay.
Is I want you to submit the bundles, and then 3 and on is do the packaging the right way. And actually, I'd say number 2 is like slow down, count carefully, like notate correctly, and tell your people to do that too. And number 3 is then submit the bundles, which it sounds like you're doing, and you're doing a great. And it looks like you're doing a great job with these packages. You're going to create a 3rd package, and you're just going to send all 3 with Claire. If you really wanted to, you could get fancy and put them all in the same package. But actually, we kind of like them broken up anyway over here. Like that 294, that's going to be a pain in the butt because to file away. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Well, so we are at the 2-hour mark. How's everyone feeling? All right, that's okay. That's telling.
Thanks,
Nancy,
I'm gonna head out. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. But thank you so much.
thank
This
you.
was super
Yes,
helpful.
thank you, Amy. Yes, of course.
Okay, I'm sorry, I got another series of questions. So now that on the tracker, I'm looking at my other monitor under petition sheets. It's like submit, prepare, and view, and in transit. So where did you find the St. Joe ones? I mean, what didn't I do the last 2 weeks? Because
Yeah.
I don't see them in transit. I don't see them in view.
It
There's
is
like
going to be
not.
in view. So
Go
so
ahead.
let me share my screen if you want to watch me.
Yeah, thank you.
So petition sheets, view packages, just takes me to this page. Here, let me start over. So view packages, and then so you see this unsent, and then you see these buttons over here. So there's multiple pages of unsent packages. So I'm going to click next, and that's not going to be enough. I'm going to click next again. I'm going to scroll down, and here are the SJs: SJ quadruple 05, quadruple 03.
So what didn't I do to send them?
Well, so you would click in and scroll back up. You click send. Now, this didn't used to look like this, so it's
Right.
okay if it was like unintuitive. That's why this was a big deal, and I wanted to get this ready for tonight. And so you would click send package, and you'd put in the field ID of your driver, and you would hit submit.
Oh, so we
And
don't do this
so,
till we don't do this. We don't do this till, okay, till we
yeah, this step happens when you're ready to actually send it out.
like physically send it out.
Yes. Because at this stage, what we're doing is tracking. So
Okay.
during the tracking portion of this, we want the digital to match the physical.
And so in the last 2 weeks, we didn't have this option to put in the driver ID, did we?
You did have the option, and it was
Oh,
hidden
okay.
behind a three
Thank
dots
you.
thing. It
Okay,
was,
okay.
but like it's not your fault. That's
Okay,
why these are now yellow and blue and right there.
okay. And so when we got metrics this week, you evidently got them digitally because we got metrics on how many signatures. So you guys just had to
We went
do
in
whatever.
there and we clicked send, and we sent them
Okay.
from you, and we put in the driver. Whoever brought them here is who we put in.
Okay.
And then and then we received, and so we sent it, and then we received, like, we clicked a lot of buttons on your behalf.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Okay. So one more time, you went up to petition sheets and you did view packages, okay? And they were sent. Is that right? No, they say they're unsent. Oh, no.
Right. So they've been created, but they have not been sent yet. So there's multiple pages, and SJ is usually toward the end.
Oh, yeah. Well, they should be, it's Thursday. They should have showed up in St. Louis, right? They show up in St. Louis on Thursdays?
I don't think we got any SJs today. We got very
Well,
few petitions this week from anybody.
is Mary still
Who
on?
brought it?
Who is Mary still on? Because Mary's only gone twice to Kansas City, right? Is this our third week? What is this? I don't know how those numbers are in there then. Why are there numbers in there? Because we haven't entered anything.
Well, those.
Mary
Well, let's
delivered
take a look.
things. Mary delivered things to Kansas City on Monday, the 7th. Mary
Do you
delivered things
know?
to Kansas City on the previous Monday. Those are the only two drives we've done. So I'm confused on
Yeah.
what these numbers are
So
and why you don't have them.
So hang on.
Mhm.
So this one got created on October 2nd. That was a week ago. That was Thursday.
Mhm.
That
Yeah,
just had
yeah,
one little bundle in it.
yeah, that was our first week that they
Okay,
were
so
sent on.
so then we missed that then when we were doing your stuff. And then this one was created on October 5th. So that was what, Monday or Sunday, something like that?
Sunday. Yes, I was at Mary's house and we did the whole week.
Gotcha.
Oh my
And so this has now been
gosh.
sent to this has now been sent to Kansas City, correct?
Well, on Monday, I don't know
Great.
where do they go from Monday? They're in St. Joe and then they go to mid-Missouri, and after Kansas City, we don't know. I mean, we don't know.
So
I don't know
that's
who
what.
the drivers are.
So this is the point that I'm making, Nancy. This is
Mhm.
why this is so important, because now you don't know where your petitions are because this process wasn't followed. And if we follow this process, every time, when these signatures land at somebody's house for a night or whatever, and they receive the package properly, and then they send it properly, then we have these checkpoints and we know the drivers, because now, there's just what, 400 signatures out or 300 signatures out there that we
Right,
just don't know where they are.
okay, I understand that. I understand that. So,
Yeah.
can you go back? Can you go back there
Yeah,
again?
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, my
I'm
mouse
sorry,
is
I'm
freaking out
consuming
tonight.
all of this, but I'm trying to get a handle on this. I see how important it is, but honestly, I mean, I missed this somewhere, and I think that's the purpose of tonight.
Yep. Yep. It's not your fault.
Um,
This was not communicated to you properly through the field department, which is why I did this.
okay. So I'm really confused. So this was our Sunday night work. I don't know if Mary's still on here or not, but this was our Sunday night work. So I had entered a bunch in on Saturday. Oh gosh, I can't even remember. I entered a bunch on my own Saturday night and I thought I had sent the package, but I guess I didn't. Because
Well,
there
you
were,
physically sent it, but you didn't do it digitally.
well, I sure did.
Um,
Okay. Well, I know what happened. The first week of, let's say whatever that Sunday was, let's say it was September 27th or 8th or something. The tracker wasn't ready, and you guys said we could do the Google form. So I did the Google form on like September 28th. And then those were
okay, yeah.
delivered Monday to Kansas City. And again, I don't know the drivers, but now we can track that. And then on the 5th, I entered them into the STA.
The old ones? Wait, so hang on. This is really important.
Yes,
Did
it
you
is.
enter into STA bundles that you had also submitted through the Google form?
No,
Okay, good. Good.
no.
Okay,
Uh-uh. Uh-uh.
fantastic. Um, okay. So,
So, yeah, you show me what you want to show me and I'll try to give you the scoop here.
yeah, because we received a big fat pack of SJs last week. One of the things that happened though, SJ had a lot of those 3-page petitions, unfortunately.
I know we did. Kansas City did, and so did Kirksville,
Yep.
because we were the
Kansas
printer that,
Kansas City had so many. I can't.
yes, I know. It's so,
We
oh,
we
it's so
count we
sad.
count we counted them. I don't know if you.
I
I'm not
know,
going to say the number right now, but it
I
was a
know,
lot.
I know. It was our printer and I got
Yep.
them from them and then it's like,
It's not your
it's
fault.
like a sexually transmitted disease and then I took them to Kirksville. Yeah, so that's okay. We'll get past that. So the September 28th had
Okay,
probably a
here are the
mix.
SJs from around
Yeah,
that time.
yeah.
So these we made mistakes on. We had to just clear those out. So it looks like, gosh, is this the only? Was this the only one that didn't have any 3-page petitions? I've got a fat stack of 3-page petition ones from St. Joe.
Yes, the
That-
ones that I entered from Google Form probably were a bunch of 3-pagers because those were from our launch. From our launch on September 10th to September 28th was we'd only had one notary night. And so on September 28th, a Sunday night, Mary and I sat at my daughter's house, now I'm remembering everything, and she read those bundles to me and I entered them in the Google Form. And they were probably all the 3-pagers.
What is going on? Here we go. Why is my keyboard not working? Okay, well, we'll just do this. Here we go. Oh yeah. So there were field IDs, I think, where it's like we just didn't.
Oh, yes, because that's what I explained to Alex, and I think yes, people didn't have field IDs, and um, uh, uh, I didn't think through I arbitrarily gave them IDs. There were three people, I think, that didn't have IDs, and so sequentially, I just gave them SJO 30 sequentially, 07, 08, 09 or something. And then the next day, I realized I could go into Van and look up their addresses and register them myself. So I did, but I did them wisely and chronologically. So they actually got the numbers I had assigned them manually. I kind of worked the system on that. But then there were several that didn't have them. And so they were the ones I either registered myself because I could get their addresses, or I had asked them to register. So I apologize for that, but anyway,
So just
let me, bring up my sheet too.
so yep, we're getting these folks now. That's why we highlighted these.
Yes, yes. And that was just, yeah. And I'm really embarrassed to say I taught computers, so I kind of understand all this interface, and when people don't follow the rules or the user interface is, kind of rough and all that. But you
Yeah.
guys are doing remarkable things. Oh my gosh, you guys, just amazing.
Oh, you don't. You're gonna be we haven't even had the big reveal yet. The thing that we're gonna do for validation is crazy. It's gonna be so cool. It's gonna knock your socks off if you ever
Well,
see it.
I think what you said is you're hoping to like sell it. So your developers are
No,
working
give it
along.
away. We're not selling this. This is open. We're doing this
Oh,
for free. We're doing this for the
oh my
pro-democracy
gosh.
movement. It needs to have this. We can't afford to keep paying millions of dollars every single cycle
Oh,
for these
yeah,
third-party verifiers to do a crap job and tell us nothing.
yeah.
We can build this ourselves. We can use this ourselves. So what you're saying is these bundles are ready to be put in. These ones that are highlighted that we did not put in, as you can see.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I did
So
the
we
Google form, I bet. And maybe because they didn't have numbers, is that it? They didn't have
Yeah,
their
that's why we highlighted these is because we ran into that problem. We was like these field IDs don't exist, but now they do
Right.
exist.
But they do
And
exist because
use
yes, the next day I thought through what I needed to do, and so I chronologically entered them, registered them myself, and did them. I waited until they showed up in the tracker, and so then I knew it was 08, 03, 08 because I had arbitrarily assigned him, let's say, that number that night, and then I waited till it showed up in the tracker. He was 08. And then I went to the next person who I arbitrarily had given 09, and I put them in myself and waited till it showed up, so it worked out. It worked out. So what do you need from me, or what do
um
you need? If I
so
can,
I don't need anything from you. I want you to let us sort this out because
sure.
probably what happened is we received your physical sheets and then
Yes.
when we discovered that some of them weren't entered, we entered them ourselves. And then we did that at that time, and we did not realize that they were the same as these. That's probably what happened. And so I'm going to check my big fat list of bundles on a different screen here, 0308. And I have a 5 and 50. To that's nope, that one's
Yeah.
not right. Oh wait.
Yeah.
Oh,
Those are all my,
it's
those are all my counties:
right,
Buchanan, Nottoway, Holt,
right. It's
Clay.
9 and 50. Hang on.
Okay.
I read my spreadsheet wrong. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. Yeah. Okay. So that's you have a 2. Yeah. So this one looks like we've already entered that one. So I'm going to mark that. Oops. Why is what is going on with my keyboard here? So yeah, so we're going to go through these and make sure that they don't get double entered. I think
Yeah.
there's a handful of stuff that's been entered twice. And we just did an
I think,
audit.
yeah, I think, and I'll tell you, yeah, yeah. I think I entered somebody's twice on the 5th of October because I had 12 physical bundles, but when I was ready to package them, it showed 13. And it looked like my numbers were off about 49 because then I did my math real quick, manually, and it looked
Mhm.
like what I had packaged was 49 more than I should have. So I must have entered a bundle twice. And so now I'm greatly relieved to know that they actually will be assigned a bundle number, and that shows up when we're ready to package them, because all it did last week was tell me I had 13 bundles and it didn't tell me numbers. So I didn't know whose was who. And I was lazy and
Yeah.
I didn't want to unselect them all and delete them all and then have to enter them again. Does that make
Um,
sense?
yeah, that's one of the things I don't like. We have all this extra space here, and we
Yeah,
don't
those
use it.
mm-hmm,
We could put more information that goes along here. So that's
mm-hmm.
another thing that we're going to improve with time. So
But we didn't even get those numbers last week, did we? It just said,
these
or
have
did
always
it?
been here,
Oh,
but in the bundle
oh,
IDs have also always existed. They were just hard to
oh,
find. So
okay. Yeah,
we've
they
made them a little
were.
bit easier to find now. They were just
And
really
then,
difficult
okay.
to find before.
And then I told myself after I think I must have entered somebody's twice. I told myself next time around, I'm going to actually write the bundle number down. Well, now there's
Yeah.
that bundle number on the form. So,
Hmm.
okay. Because
Yes.
after I finish a person, I do view their bundle. So that will show
Great.
me their number now. That will show me their number. And it always did. I just didn't pay attention, I guess.
Well, so I wanted to do that and it wasn't ready in time. So for submit
Okay.
bundles, this is my test case. This is not a real one.
Sure. Go
Um,
ahead again. I'm getting a handle on this now.
oh, yeah, SL9901. So it'll get there.
Yeah.
So
Okay, that
there
works.
and
Yeah,
there
that's
and
good.
whatever.
Yep, that's good.
And so I'm gonna hit submit bundle,
Uh-huh.
and it's creating a bundle. And what I wanted it to do, what I tried to get it to do, was say bundle SL00010
Sure.
created view bundle.
Sure.
It doesn't do that yet. And I
Okay.
failed to get that to work, but it sounds like it's an easy thing to do. I'm not going to be the one trying it this time.
That's
Um,
okay.
but our number one priority is getting gatherer totals. So like that we know how many signatures from each gatherer, because then we can derive everything else that we want. And so that's our number one thing. We'll want to also be able to reassign primary teams in the UI as well. And then the other thing is for our part, the actual verification of the signatures, because we want to get those congressional district counts. So there's
Yeah.
plenty for us to do. We have a Trello board that's like insane. We'll
Yeah.
get it done. We'll get there.
These are huge improvements because the user interface was really tough. Like
Yeah,
I put in the comments, I didn't know why my bundle wouldn't bundle because there were only 2 counties. I didn't know I had to remove the blank ones.
I
And then
agree. And like I still need to add a note for that. I have that a Trello thing for that to add that note. So I'm working on it.
It's looking
It's
good.
going to keep
Okay,
getting better.
that's okay. It's looking good. Okay, so in the future, once I have all my bundles and I package up in the upper right-hand corner, I forget if it's yellow or blue or whatever, but it says package. And then I just kind of do a quick scan to make sure that all my bundle numbers are indicated in that package. And then
Hmm.
I do send. Is it send? What does it say?
So
I'm
yeah,
sorry, you left
let's
that.
no, I can go back. This is easy. So this is
Yeah,
yeah, so this is the not real environment. This is just the development. So prepare
correct.
package, which used to
Yeah,
be blue, now it's yellow.
that's cool. It shows
And
me all my
so
bundles.
yeah,
And
that
then
are available.
mhm.
I unselected because that's just what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, that's cool.
Um,
And I
and
create my
so,
package.
mhm. And so,
And that's what I did, but do I have to send it somewhat? Does it send? No, view package.
not, that's a separate step. So that's what this is broken down into. Each of these is its own step. There's creation, there's sending, and there's receiving, and there's validating. So you can think of these each as a step. I could even put step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4.
No,
I
it's
think that would
okay.
be, do you think that would be helpful, or do you think that would just be more information and more difficult?
Well, can you show me where I send? Isn't send part of the digital interface? Where do
Yeah,
I?
yeah.
That's what I
So,
don't think I did. I don't think I sent it.
yeah, no, you didn't, and that's okay. So I gotta go find this. So view packages. So yeah, so view packages. So it's been created, but it has not been sent yet. So created, you can create it after you've submitted all the bundles. Sending is when you're actually ready to give it to a driver. So that's why it's a separate step, right? Because we're trying to keep track
Oh,
of where things are.
okay. And where is that at? Where is the send button?
So you have to go,
Oh,
yep, you have to go
into my
find the
package.
package.
Okay.
And then in
Okay.
here, there's a big send
Oh,
package button now. That used to be very hidden. It was hidden behind these little 3 gray dots. It was like you had
that's
to
what
know
you
it was
said.
there. Yes,
Because
but
that
now
makes
it's a blue
sense. That
button.
makes sense. Okay, because Mary said
Yeah.
that night after, I think later this week, Mary and I were together and we wanted to look at our numbers and she said, well, package is not even sent yet. I go, really? I said, oh, I don't, really? So, okay. So what about this, you showed, you don't have to go back. You showed that you had received something on October 5th. But I didn't send that, but evidently you guys have sent it. You did, like you said, you went in and you sent a whole bunch of bundles for a whole bunch of people, or just us silly ones that couldn't figure things out.
I thought we did, but turns out so many of them were the 3-page petitions. There was only one package. There was like only one bundle that didn't have any.
Okay, okay.
So
So really, it
we
doesn't look like those can be counted. Oh, that's really sad.
we're
Oh,
gonna get another opinion.
yeah,
It's
I won't
not over
pass that
yet.
on. Yeah, I won't pass that on. That's just, well, that's so sad. Oh, shoot. Because that was like Pride
Um,
Fest and launch and
yeah, I
everybody
know.
was
So we've
so
got
excited. Yeah.
we probably realized that those other ones were the 3-page petitions and had to delete them. But
Sure. That's
we can
okay.
add them back. Yeah, we can add them back in if we determine that we can use them.
Sure.
So
Sure.
that's always an
Sure.
option.
That's good. So evidently the number that we got of 500 or so that showed we had a 202% of our goal was just the accumulation of the 2 packages that we sent physically with drivers and digitally. It's just a result of really yeah. Okay.
So I will say the numbers that we put that like where you're compared to your goals and stuff, that includes everything that's been all the bundles that have been submitted. It doesn't care about what teams they're on, where they are, whether
Right.
they've been
Right.
packaged or not, or whether they're in transit, because
Oh,
those are just raw counts of what we have at some point taken in and received.
okay. And you mean
So
digitally or physically? Because a little while ago
digitally,
you, okay.
which should mirror the physical, right? Because we're at the tracking step of this. So when you're entering those numbers in, what you're really do is tracking. We're really just tracking those signatures. We're putting them into the tracking system. So
Okay.
the digital should mirror the physical.
Okay. Okay. And I'm looking one more time. I know it's really late, but I'm just trying to get a handle on this. Um, shoot, where's my Google? Okay, so back to this whole driver thing. So clearly we will ensure that when these are passed off, I'll be responsible this week. When I pass them off to Wendy Williams in Kansas City or Amy Slaybow or whoever, I will on this printed, whatever this is called, package sheet, on the second row, I will write down the driver Well, they're really the receiving team. I will write my sender and driver field, right? On the second
If you want to
row.
do it, if you want to do everything properly, and I understand that if you're in a parking lot, that this isn't going to happen. It's like I get it.
I
I,
could
I
come
I
home
would
and do it.
ideally, yeah, yeah. If they're taking it home, like I think that's the better way to do it because it's saying it's hit this checkpoint, and we have record of that.
Well, I know what I meant was after I give it off to Wendy Williams in Kansas City, when I return home 100 miles and I get on my laptop, can I then put in her numbers, her driver number? No, because
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, because she has to. It depends on kind of
I'm
what we're
sorry, I'm
trying to
in the
do. So
weeds again. I'm in the weeds again.
yeah, no, I mean, and that's okay. So you give it to Wendy, and then what does Wendy do with it? What's the very next thing that Wendy does?
Well, it sounded like Amy Slaybaugh said Wendy is the driver that goes on to mid-Missouri. And again, I'm looking at this field Google sheet. That's all we have as our Pony Express. You know, this is the only documentation we have of who the drivers are. All we have are their names and phone numbers. It says on Tuesday, Kansas City goes to mid-Missouri. Wendy Williams and her phone number goes to Karina's home. Karina, I don't even know her last name, but she's the field, she's somebody
Yeah,
with
she's the regional
mid-Missouri.
director for Missouri. Yeah, she's the regional director.
And she
So
said they go to
uh,
her home
yes, but so when you brought it down to Wendy, was that on Monday or Tuesday?
Monday.
Okay,
And
and
Tuesday,
she takes them to Mid Missouri on Tuesday.
well, that's what the Google sheet says.
So
I can't
if
speak for that. That's just what the
right,
Google sheet says.
I understand. So let's just assume we're following the Google sheet. So ideally, what happens is before you walk out of your door, you put in yourself as the driver. And then when you hand it off to Wendy, what does she meet you halfway or do you go to Wendy's home?
Well, last week it was Platte City Quick Trip. Mary did it.
Okay. And so you would have put Mary as the driver then.
Mhm.
But then what
And
happens?
when you say I put Mary, it's on this paper, but does it go into the tracking system?
Yes, it's one
Because
of the
I'll,
few pieces of information that you enter that is not automatically generated. So when you
okay,
send a package, it
right,
asks
there it
you for the
is.
driver's field ID. Yep.
Okay, okay. Okay, gotcha. So then Mary took it to Wendy in the Quick Trip parking lot in Platte City, north of Kansas City, north of the airport. And I don't know where it went from there. And Mary doesn't know. You know, it was Wendy. So so what does Wendy have to do? She would go to the third row, right? Receiving team, receiving field ID and date. And then I'm assuming, because I don't know, I'm assuming on Tuesday, she gets in her car and she drives to mid-Missouri to Karina. And then
Yes.
Karina
And
fills out this sheet, right? But
yeah,
she
so
doesn't
let's slow down.
repackage them. Yeah, she doesn't repackage
Let's
them. They've already been packaged.
so let's slow down. Is Wendy listed anywhere else on there for delivering packages from other regions, like Kansas City, for example?
No, she's just listed as Kansas City region to MM region, Wendy Williams and her phone number. And Mary physically met Wendy last week. The week before, unfortunately, with our 3-page petitions, she met Amy Slaybaugh in Kansas City.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, we're just getting solid things in place. But on the spreadsheet, then, does it say Nancy Zeliff or Mary on Monday goes from SJ region to KC region?
Yes. Here,
Yes. So
I can put my
that's
video on.
these overnight stays of petitions, like those are like checkpoints, and that's what the packaging and repackaging is about. And so what I would assume is that Wendy has we're gonna say Wendy is a proxy for Amy. So we'll say Amy is
Sure.
KC01. That's her team, KC01, which I don't even know if that's true, but she's KC03. So we're going to say that Wendy's a proxy for her. So KC03 has a bunch of bundles of their own Kansas City bundles. On Monday, they receive all these St. Joe bundles. They don't actually need to package theirs right away. They could have left them unpackaged until after the St. Joe stuff arrived. When the St. Joe stuff arrived, then they receive it, and then now they have St. Joe bundles and they have Kansas City bundles. And then the software knows that too. The software knows that that KC03 has St. Joe bundles and KC bundles. And then they create a package that has more bundles, all these bundles together. And then they send that out with Wendy on Tuesday to Mid-Missouri.
Why?
And then
okay. Wow. Why would it take all that additional? Why would you repackage them and keep repackaging? Because then Karina needs to do that in Columbia. Other than
because we're trying to
where they're at.
Yes, we're trying to track the signatures. That's the reason.
And wow. So, but if we're in a parking lot, and I mean,
So let me ask you a question. How often do you run into a situation where there's 3 drivers immediately in a row before the petition stop for the night? So it's like you drive and you drop it off to somebody parking lot, and they drive and they drop it off to somebody parking lot, and then they drive and they go home for the night.
well, I don't know. We've only had 2 occurrences, but I'll tell you what I'm hoping to do this week is because I am going to Mid-Missouri on Tuesday morning. I have to be in Columbia by 1:00.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that I can. And then there's this Kirksville loop in here, and I'm sorry I talked about it and I didn't. Judy McNeese was still on, but for what I'm envisioning this week is I will stop in St. Joe really early Tuesday and pick up Kirksville's physical petitions. And then I'm going to hop in my car and keep going. And then I'm going to meet Wendy really early, maybe at 9:00 in Kansas City, and pick up all of Kansas City's. And then I'm going to stay in my car and get to Columbia and get to my conference at by 1:00. And then I will have pre-made arrangements with Karina to get to her house Wednesday night, because I won't have time to get to her house. No, I'm talking Tuesday, whatever the day of the week is. I won't have time to get to Karina's house Tuesday when I hit Columbia, because I got to get to my conference. And then, so sometime Tuesday night, I will meet Karina at her house, and I'll give her Kirksville's and St. Joe's and Kansas City's. And Sass, I just don't know why I have to go in there and rebundle them.
You don't.
You want to know.
No, you don't. This is listen. I'm going to spell this out for you.
Repackage. Sorry.
No, you
repackage.
don't. No, you don't
Okay.
have to. And I'm gonna spell this out for you. So what's happening is when you're ready to leave. So you already have St. Joe's.
Yes, but I'll have
Petitions, right?
Kirksville's too, and I won't get Kirksville.
Well, wait, Nancy.
Okay.
Oh, let's walk through this. Let's slow down.
Okay.
So you will have St. Joe's at home with you, and then you leave your house.
Yes, I will. Yes, I will.
And then you're going to drive to St. Joe to pick up the Kirksville petitions. And you're going to drive to Kansas City to pick up the Kansas City petitions. And then you're going to drive to Mid-Missouri to drop off everything.
All in one day.
Yep, all in one day. So here's how that works. When you are ready to leave, you go in with your St. Joe package and you say send, and you put yourself down as a driver. Then you go to St. Joe. And when you pick up that package, they hit send, and they put in your... Wait. Listen.
Okay.
They hit send, and they put you as the driver because you're driving their petitions. And then when you get to Kansas City, and they're ready to give their petitions to you, they hit send on their Kansas City petitions, and they put you as the driver. And then when you get to Karina's place, Karina hits receive on all 3 of those packages and takes them in. There's no repackaging that's done because there's no they're not hanging. They're not real checkpoints. You're not really stopping from the perspective of your St. Joe petitions. They're really going straight from St. Joe to Mid-Mo. From the perspective of the Kirksville ones, they're going straight from they're going straight from St. Joe to Mid-Mo. From the perspective of the Kansas City ones, they're going straight from Kansas City to Mid-Mo. So those don't need to be repackaged. They just need to say, well, who's driving them? And oh, it's Nancy. And so each of those is just happening. And then Karina can just receive each of the 3 packages. And so
Okay,
you don't
but
actually have to do anything while you're picking those up. You just have to tell them what your field ID is. That's it.
But they are, and if you see Mike Rogers, thank you, Mike, for hanging in here. And I'm sorry, I just have to see all this in plain language and talk and walk through it. He's right. We're all volunteers. And what I'm going to be asking Veronica at 7:30 in the morning on Monday is saying, oh, Veronica, now you have to go into the signature tracker, which she's never even seen. She's never been in because she's not on the call tonight. And I wanted to get a handle on this before I start talking to my field captains. And we are asking her to go in and press some buttons and put in my field number, I guess, because it's Kirksville. And then when I pick them up from Wendy, I'm going to say, oh, Wendy, you need to go into the signature tracker. And she will not have even seen it because she wasn't on the call tonight. And Amy hasn't trained her. And maybe she's only a driver. She's not even a field captain. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like,
Yeah,
I mean,
I see where you're coming from. What you're getting at is the who, and then you're making a valid point there, and so that matters, right? And so these are additional details that matter when we're talking about this, and so so who are you meeting in St. Joe again? What's their name?
well, it might be Veronica.
Veronica?
I don't know. Right, let's just say it's Veronica, and I know where
let's say
she
it's
lives.
Veronica, and Veronica. So Veronica, let's say, is a driver sent from Kirksville. Let's just say that's what it is. So, and Veronica is just a driver. Veronica is not a field captain, right? And Veronica is not bringing them to you. She's bringing them to what, a hotel in St. Joe for the night? Is that the idea?
Well, I'm going to use Kevin. Kevin's coming from Kansas, from Kirksville on a Sunday, and Veronica's the field captain in St. Joe. And I said, I'm out of it, Veronica. You and Kevin need to communicate sometime before Sunday so he knows who to bring them to in St. Joe on Sunday. Okay. So let's say they go to Veronica's house. So Kevin needs to, right, he needs to go into the tracker and say, I have sent them.
Kevin's field captain who's giving the petitions to him goes into the tracker and says, sending, Kevin's field ID, done. And then they arrive at Veronica. Veronica is a field captain. If Veronica is a field captain, Veronica as a field captain, as a field lead, should be able to go into the signature tracker app and say, all right, cool, I received. And then the next morning, she'll send them back out with you, right? Say send, field ID, done, right? And so it's not a ton, but I think it is reasonable to ask field leadership to be able to go in here and click send, field ID, done, to say receive, team ID, done. I think that's a reasonable ask of leadership, in my opinion.
Okay. But it could be done, sorry. It could be done later in the day, maybe not. I mean, I'm just saying realistically, I'm using that Panera Bread thing again. I mean,
yeah, it doesn't have to be done like in the moment. I'm with you there, right? So like if you were to meet Wendy at a Panera Bread and Wendy is taking it back to her house for the night, and again, we're saying Wendy is a proxy for Amy. So then when Wendy at some point, Amy clicks receive when she knows that Wendy has it, and Amy just receives it at her KC03. Okay. And then when Wendy leaves the next day with those petitions and the Kansas City petitions, Amy goes in and packages them and sends them out with Wendy as the driver. So Wendy's not touching. If Wendy's just a driver and not a field captain, not a regional director, Wendy's not touching the app. Kevin, I think you said it was.
Mhm.
You know, if they're just a driver and they're not a field lead, they're not touching the app. It's just the
Okay,
leadership.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. All right. Okay, well, that's helpful.
Hmm.
Well, that's helpful, and I'm glad you're sharing this with us because we didn't know we had to do this.
I know you didn't, and it's not your fault that you didn't know. And that's
Okay,
why I had this tonight.
okay, and I'm sorry, I'm 3 hours in, and Mike, I'm sorry you're hanging in here. I don't know where Mike's from. Maybe he has the same logistics that we do. Okay, all right, and I just don't know why. Okay, okay. This helps me. So I guess I did not send my packages, right? I did not send my package last week, and that's
Digitally.
because digitally,
Mhm.
because then that's where I
You didn't
indicate the
know, and it's not your
driver.
fault.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
you
right,
didn't know, and it's not your fault. That's the reason.
okay, and all right, all right. This helps me out for what I have to do this week. Okay, thank you.
Hmm.
I'll wait. I think I'm done. So sorry, everybody.
That's okay, Nancy.
I'm a
I'm here
Virgo.
to
I
help.
can't help it. I'm very type A, very type. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you. Good night. All right. Good night, Sash.
Yeah.
You do excellent work. I just have to have this all
Thank you,
laid out.
Nancy.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good night. Bye.
totally good. Good night. Does anybody else have anything? No? Mike, nothing? Okay. Well, thank you all. You have a nice rest of your evening. Thanks for sticking around. I'm glad you. Yeah, I hope you got something out of that last hour with me and Nancy. And I will be posting this 3 hour recorded call on our YouTube channel. I'll have to go through and censor a couple things, but that's what I'm going to do. And then I'll send it out with the field leads guide tomorrow. Okay, thank you.